Okay, let's talk Kourtney Kardashian and modern televangelism. So, one of the major plot points on the Kardashians on Hulu this season is there is a fight between Kim and Kourtney over their individual relationships with bigoted designers Dolce & Gabbana. Dolce & Gabbana styled Kourtney's wedding, and I think that they probably paid for part of it. And if you look at this imagery, you would think that this was a Catholic wedding. But if you follow me here, you know that I've called this the Catholic cosplay wedding, because seeing all this imagery, it looks very Catholic. And the fact that it happens in Italy, where the Vatican is, you would think it's Catholic, but they actually flew in their evangelical pastor. So let's talk about the other guy who was at the altar with Kourtney, Chad Veach, the evangelical pastor who was flown in from California on a private jet, who owns Zoe Church in LA. Chad Veach is in the Hillsong multiverse of pastors. He's kind of like an evangelical Nepo baby who came from the Pacific Northwest to LA and started his church, Zoe Church, that has a huge celebrity following. This interview is really interesting if you haven't seen it. There's a lot going on in it. But if you look at this picture, that's Carl Lentz in the dark jacket. In the middle is Justin Bieber, and on the end is Chad Veach. And this is where you can really see that Carl Lentz and Chad Veach are two sides of the same coin. When Carl Lentz fell from grace at Hillsong, he basically handed off the baton to Chad Veach, and a lot of the celebrities who went to Hillsong started moving over to Chad Veach's church, Zoe Church, including Justin Bieber. Now, Justin Bieber has a really interesting relationship with both of these cool guy pastors, Carl Lentz and Chad Veach, that ultimately look almost identical. But in this interview, you see that Chad Veach says he flew into Switzerland to spend time with Justin Bieber, and they were so close that Justin Bieber got a G tattooed on him. Now, you've probably seen other celebrities who attend Zoe Church with the G tattoo, which is for Georgia, Chad Veach's daughter. So Ashley Benson and Hailey Bieber and other celebrities who go to the church have a small G tattooed on them, which to me just gives NXIVM vibes, if I'm being honest. Now, if you follow Kourtney Kardashian on Instagram, you would see she regularly posts text screenshots from Chad Veach in her Instagram stories, which is just a level of closeness that not a lot of people would have with Kourtney Kardashian in particular. And it's interesting to me that other celebrities talk about texting with or spending time with Chad. And brands pay millions of dollars for this kind of shout out from Kourtney Kardashian, who has tons of followers. And it doesn't just stop here. Kourtney has promoted him on her TV show, in her Instagram stories, and on her Poosh website as well, which is really getting tons of reach. So when you think about the modern televangelist, it doesn't look like Tammy Faye Baker and Jimmy Baker on the TV at your grandma's house anymore. Now it's influencers with $700 shoes who are on your Instagram feed being promoted by celebrities you like. So even though Kourtney is not promoting her mother's church in her Instagram stories, she is promoting an evangelical church and preacher in her stories to other celebrities. And the more celebrities who come into his church, the more celebrity paychecks get to tithe to his church. Now, something I find interesting is in interviews when asked about politics, LGBTQIA rights, or reproductive rights, Chad says, basically, I'm not a politics guy, I'm a Bible guy, but it's almost in the tone of the Bible doesn't like those things, so I don't want to talk about them. So when you combine that with the disgusting things that Dolce & Gabbana have said about children that are conceived using IVF, it's just interesting to me that this season we are seeing Kourtney and Travis talk more about their fertility journey and about how they've gone from doing IVF, having frozen eggs and embryos that apparently did not make the thaw, and now they are trying things more naturally and trying other options, which happens in the fertility journey. People sometimes just want to stop or try other things, but every time they're talking about it, watch Kourtney. She says it's God's plan or some other version of it's God's will. And I just find that to be very interesting. I think that there is some other tone that is coming through with the Kardashians on Hulu that is steering way more into the evangelical side of things. And again, this is modern televangelism.